seeing that news story pop up on my phone was the equivalent of pretend that I'm 7 years old.
Okay.
Watching TV with my parents and telling them like, "Oh, mom, dad, look, I really want that for Christmas, right? I really, really want that toy for Christmas." And my parents are like, "Okay." Now, I grew up in a household in which we didn't believe in Santa Claus ever because we were a struggling family. So it'd be the equivalent of like seeing that commercial, but then my parents say, "Dad just got a raise at work." And it's a lot more money than we've ever seen. So it's like this anticipation builds, right? My parents, they're late picking me up from school and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we had to go pick something up from the store." Wink, wink, nod, nod. And you're like, oh my God, it's going to happen, right? Then the night before, your parents are wrapping gifts and you look under the tree and it's like, oh my God, it's the shape of the toy that I want. Like it's right there. Then Christmas morning, I wake up all wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and run downstairs and first thing I do is rip open the wrapper of this thing. And I'm opening up the box and oh my God, it's the case. It's right there. I got the toy. And I open it up and it's a zip.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, you're back to doing the again. I like it. Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports. What episode is this?
60, the Chris Samuels episode.
Also, in the history of ASOS, this is episode 100.
Congratulations!
Oh shit! Awesome.
Wee balloons.
Nice.
Which I was looking off those balloons. I wasn't paying attention. They now creepily like came up towards me.
They about to jump your ass. Boy.
It does look like
You're about to get jumped by some balloons. I can see them shits in your glasses.
Yeah, it was just they creeped the fuck up. It's just kind of like
you're the only source of oxygen.
Yeah,
move it towards you.
It has something to do with
They
this fan
need your oxygen.
Yeah, but y'all see me just get tied. Y'all see the balloons just come in and just tie around my neck and shit. Just like...
Racist ass balloons.
Oh God! All right, welcome back to All Sorts of Sports, episode 60. Does anybody want to address the comment from the last video or no?
I mean, no, we don't see it. So we know what you're doing. We know that you left a comment. It's not there now.
We appreciate your feedback. I vehemently disagree with you, but that's because not enough information has come out. So the comment says. It's basically says that there's enough evidence against Deshaun Watson and that he's a serial predator. I would say that there are allegations that he's a serial predator, but I certainly wouldn't consider it evidence at this point. But that's why these things are fluid; it can change. That is a comment coming from a defense attorney. So, has
there been any news about a criminal investigation happening in Houston?
No, in fact, the sheriff's office specifically said they will not make any comments because it's not a criminal investigation at this point. It's simply a civil suit. There's 16 civil suits, 26 civil suits. There's a lot.
So that's my thing is that like right now, it's a difference between like what you see with some of like the Bill Cosby issues or some of the other ones where it's like, all right, this shit happened so long ago, the statute of limitations is up for some of it, depending on like where you're at. This stuff, I mean, everything I'm seeing is like 2018, 19, 20, 21. Like it's just... If there is
said March,
so if there's stuff that looks like it's highly illegal what he's doing, then one would think
this month
there would be some sort of criminal investigation that does end up happening instead of it just staying in the civil case. I mean, that's just my standpoint. Like if the cops see there's smoke with something like this, they're going to investigate regardless of whatever the victim.
Oh yeah, that district attorney's office is definitely already taking a look at this.
So.
Yeah,
just saying, Mr. Whoever left that comment, I think it was Julia, so I'm guessing it was someone. Thanks for leaving the comment. I guess thank you for deleting the comment because you thought better than to put it on there. I don't know.
I mean, it was there. We saw it.
Yeah, we saw it temporarily.
Yeah.
Say it with your chest.
We're gonna need another comment. All right, so I want to start this pod off by saying rest in peace, Elgin Baylor. I was kind of shocked. I mean, you're always shocked when you hear like news like this. I mean, he wasn't a young person, but at the same time, you just don't expect it.
Right.
I didn't hear anything else about like being sick or anything like that. So
No, I mean he wasn't young, but wasn't he like in his 80s?
believe
I was pulling up his age right now, 86.
Yeah, I mean that's a good run.
He was DC's own Washington, D.C. legend, Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor.
legend in general.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah,
Clippers exec. Good run.
legend. All right. So transitioning back to NBA news, right? NBA trade deadline just happened. Some moves were made, some moves weren't made. Looking at you, Toronto. I don't know why you didn't do right by Kyle Lowry, but whatever.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
But it's not my choice. It's not my choice.
Just do right by him. Send him to whoever he wants to go to.
I think Drake called the front office. He's like, I swear to God.
Nah, Drake FaceTimed him during his interview.
I know. I saw
That shit was funny.
No,
Like, never missed up a time for some publicity, ain't it?
All
but then he
right, so,
disappears for like 6 months at a time.
yeah.
And puts out a mediocre album. All right.
Wow.
It was 3 songs, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean, we're like the album that he's supposed to be putting out hasn't come out yet. We're waiting on it.
And
I mean,
then he
Certified Lover Boy.
and then he goes back to not hiding the sun from the world, but hiding the world from his son.
All right, so you are on Pusha T's side for sure.
Oh, most doubt. No, all day, every day. Pusha T destroyed his ass.
Yeah, he did.
Infrared.
All right.
I can feel it.
No, this is not a Drake conversation. All right. So both of our teams made some moves. Ryan, you're a Wizards fan, right? K-Dot? Yeah. All right. So
Traded.
what did y'all do? Because it looked like a small trade.
Traded 2 G Leaguers for 2 G Leaguers.
Okay. Why?
I don't know.
All right.
You got this team right now that's kind of looking for a spark, and I think the only spark they're really going to get is getting rid of Scotty Brooks' ass. But, I mean, you look at the Wizards overall recently, and it's like, if you're a team with a good record in the West, we got your ass. Even in the East, we got you. But if it's any scrub team, we can't put together the fucking win. Like, we went on that run, was it last month, 5 or 6 in a row? And then it's just it's not been good recently. But I mean, I don't know. There's been some really, really up and down shit happening. But I think it's Scott Brooks. I think that we got to get rid of that dude, because if we're winning some of the games that we're winning, then we're a better team than we're actually putting up in our record showing right now. But
Yeah, there's no defense being played.
But that's the thing, that trade itself, because it was what, Troy Brown and Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner for Daniel Gafford and Hutchinson.
It's not blowing anybody's skirt up in any way, really. I mean, there's the I think what's the dude, Dennis, whatever. He had a hell of a game or something a few nights back. I'm not
Daniel Gafford?
I think that was him. It was one of the dudes had put together some like 2-game
so.
like.
I've heard from everybody. I've heard about everybody in those trades.
But I haven't heard
It's not
a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah.
Unless Brad Bill or Russell Westbrook is involved in something, nobody's really caring.
And
here,
no-
as far as this,
Yeah.
And they
That's true.
can't. I mean, Russ Westbrook isn't going anywhere. That's an untradeable contract. So
And I really don't think Brad Bill is going anywhere.
Yeah, but I wish he would have. But all right, so
he's not fucking leaving.
let's talk about the Mavs right quick. Quick tidbit: we traded for JJ Redick and Melly. I think his name is Nico Melly.
Nico Melly.
We traded James Johnson and Wes Suwundu. Wes was a rookie, I believe, last year or this year. And James Johnson, everybody knows who he is. So,
Man, you need a 3-point shooter. You got a 3-point shooter.
yeah, and apparently Melly is a good shooter too. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we definitely need.
It doesn't.
We traded away Seth.
It
So
doesn't.
that
It doesn't take it doesn't make your team better or worse, that trade, I don't think.
It does.
think-
You just said it. We needed 3-point shooting.
Right. But you have like a 40-year-old JJ Redick.
Who shoots?
He does shoot. Does he make them?
Shoots it well. Yeah.
It's
He started off the season really bad. But
Right.
like I think the past 20-something games, he's shooting 45% from 3. That's good.
But it doesn't make you like that's not gonna be the thing that pushes you into the finals. Is what I'm not blown away. I'm not blown away by most of these trades.
What I'll
Except
say
for
is
one.
remember our run when we won in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
We traded we got Peja.
Mm-hmm.
That was big.
Well,
Like this could be kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait to see where it goes. But.
Yeah, but like the rest of our team doesn't shoot as well as they should be. So it is what it is.
JJ has 9 games this season where his 3-point percentage is over 50.
Okay, I take that back.
No, I mean JJ is one of the best shooters of all time.
Yeah,
like we all know this.
I just remember watching him
fuck
earlier
him, he
this
went to
season.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. He started off the year really, really bad.
I don't think he was in game shape either.
Yeah, he was shooting in the 20% percentile. Like that's how bad he was in the beginning of the year.
Indianapolis.
What did they do?
What? Nothing. It's a commercial where
I thought you were talking about the Pacers.
they drive to Annapolis because they think that the tournament is in the Annapolis,
Oh wow. Okay.
but it's
All right.
not.
No, we're not giving the NCAA any pub here. All right. So the team that I think had the worst go of it, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is the Rockets.
The Rockets have had a bad go of it for the last few months.
Yep.
It's
Since the
getting
start of the
worse.
season, before the season.
Man, can you imagine being a fan in Houston right now?
I actually know a couple.
Woo! You got the trash can banging cheaters. Oh man, I was gonna roll this into a banging joke, but I'm gonna roll that one back. You have
At least don't talk about the Texans. It's the second team. So.
you have the Rockets who just blew everything up and got basically dog shit in return.
Yep.
And you have the Texans.
What did they trade? What did they trade James Harden to? Like, they got what? A couple second round picks?
Yeah, like that whole town. I'd be so furious. It's like one team being bad. Okay.
All of them.
All three.
Yeah, James, you did call it early on, which I want to give you props for, which is how bad you felt for Steve Silas.
Yeah. And it's getting worse. Like, you see him, like, in the press conferences about basically crying.
Man.
Yeah.
He's like the coaching equivalent of, like, getting shell-shocked as a quarterback. Like, it might ruin it. He might be ruined after this.
Yeah, he's if I was him, I'd
not rooting for it, but I'm just saying.
I know,
that looked like a broken man.
It hurts because, like, he came from Dallas, and, like, Luka was, like, singing his praises, like, yeah, like, the reason why I got so much better offensively is because of him.
Right, but
it's like
you have to have a good player to then mold
that wants to be there.
Nobody wants to be in Houston. Poor John Wall. What is he doing? Does he retire? I would retire.
No.
John Wall's just having a bad run right now. But there's also, I don't know what's going on, because you saw what was that game that broke Steve? Was the when Wall they had the pick and roll drawn up, and then Wall decided he was going to take it to the house anyway,
and he missed, or he got blocked.
Yeah, it was just bad all, and John Wall's had some terrible performances.
And then what happened with the Kings like last night, or a couple nights ago?
What happened.
They went on a 22-0 run to beat the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. It's bad, man. I mean, look, there was all that talk early on about like who actually got the better out of that trade, the Wall of Westbrook thing. I think it's all kind of settled at this point where all teams can walk away from it saying, okay, got whatever.
It was to the Wolves, my bad. They were out. The Rockets were outscored 31-10 in the fourth quarter, and they ended the game on a 22-0 run.
It's the broken team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the all-around broken team. I don't know what the fix is for that, other than saying blowing up and let's start all over. And then
But how do you do that, John? Well, you can't trade him.
No, that's the thing, and they don't really have a lot of capital because I mean, you look at what they got back, as you guys are saying, for Harden. It's not like you can look and say that you're like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have how many picks going forward, and you can see like the players that they have on that team. Then they're like, all right, we're going to be in rebuild mode, and at least they have the tools necessary to say, okay, we can go and put some shit together. Houston right now, they're still on the downturn. Like they still haven't hit rock bottom. So there's not even like, hey, you can start
not
fixing anything.
They're not even last in the West.
They haven't hit. It's going to get worse than this.
They haven't hit rock bottom, but they also don't have the tools to pull themselves out when they do.
It's like you're trying to get a crackhead clean that lives in a crack den and like is around crackheads. It's like we're hoping the overdose doesn't happen. We know that the crackhead's done the absolute worst. We're hoping
this is
like his rock bottom's
example.
all right, nigga, but it's just not gonna work out.
That is such a bad example.
It's just not gonna work out.
All right. Then let's talk about buyouts. The two I remember was LaMarcus Aldridge and Andre Drummond.
Drummond to the Lakers, I think, right? And LaMarcus to Miami?
Yeah, LaMarcus to Miami is pretty much a done deal according to everybody, but I wish Drummond would go to the Mavs. We need
Not gonna happen.
Of course.
I know. No, we were like flirting with him, but it's the Lakers too, and then I forgot who else. Maybe the Nets.
Yeah, the Nets were in that conversation.
Yeah, any good team is going to be associated with him. So
I think the Lakers end up with him. Also, Oladipo went to Miami, right?
Yeah, for a bag of chips.
And then
that's why, like, because the Rockets flip Harden for Oladipo, right?
Yeah. I'm just. First of all, Miami's really bad, and I don't know why.
I mean, they're having a bad run, but now they got more firepower, and they traded away Olynyk and I forgot who else. They kept Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, and still got Oladipo, and they have Bam.
Miami went through a bunch of shit at the beginning of the season, of COVID and all kind of shit, right?
Yeah, and then they had to deal with whatever his name is.
Oh yeah,
Miles,
Jackass Miles. Yeah,
Miles is gone though, right?
Yeah,
Myers Leonard.
Yeah, Myers Leonard got traded for to Sacramento, I believe. Maybe I don't know.
It's Myers Leonard at 3K cake hoodies too.
Jesus.
And then did they get? I think they got Trevor Ariza too.
Nah,
I don't know. In the weeds on that. Miami. I mean, like you lose a championship. Usually, there's a little bit of there's some rust.
Trevor Ariza's in Miami down too.
There's some rust after losing the championship. Usually, they're gonna get right. I mean, they're still gonna, I think, put it together enough to make the playoffs. No, yeah, right,
probably. Yeah.
And if you do that, you put them in the dance. I mean, anything can happen, especially in the East with them kind of rock and rolling.
Oh,
I still put them third. But...
Oh shit! All right, so the Heat traded Myers Leonard to the Thunder, and the Thunders just cut him.
The free agent.
That's tough.
Is that why I kept? You said he's from what? Woodbridge, right?
Yeah, he's from Woodbridge.
I
He's
noticed
born
on
in 92.
95 the other day, I could smell just burnt hickory, and I thought I saw clan robes. I mean, that just makes sense. I guess he's home.
He's on his way back.
Is he home? Is that what they did? They burned everything up just to welcome him back home?
Probably.
They knew it was coming?
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to another basketball story. Ryan, I know you have strong opinions on this.
Steph Curry.
After we potted the last time, I think it was that night, LaMelo Ball broke his wrist and he's out for the year.
Yep.
Once this happened, of course, there's a firestorm of people like trying to come create a story, and the one that everybody landed on was, should LaMelo Ball still win Rookie of the Year, even though he's not playing for half the season now?
Well, first off, I heard that the surgery went really well and he could return before the end of the year. Man, but I don't think if he doesn't play another minute of basketball this year, it's hard to make the argument for him to win Rookie of the Year. Which really sucks because he was absolutely balling out. He was running away with it. But the same way last year, Zion played like 14 games, maybe less, and he didn't win it. He didn't deserve it. There wasn't enough. You didn't get to watch him enough. So,
well, I will say his main competition now to me is Edwards from Minnesota and Halliburton from Sacramento.
Yep.
He might get it.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is like if there was nobody else, he would run away with it. LaMelo still, but there are a couple other rookies who are really balling out and opening eyes. So it would be really tough for me to put somebody who missed the next, couple months. There's not enough material for me.
Yeah, it's the same between like John Moran and Ryan, like you said.
Yeah, if consistency is for a whole season. If you don't get to see him for the next 6 months, but he was balling out. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Halliburton's getting a little bit better. So it would have been a tight race for me at the end. But I think Halliburton's going to get it because the Wolves are bad too.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, really
Wait, you like Anthony Edwards?
I really like that dude.
Oh yeah, I mean you like his personality. Did you see when he got cut off in the interview?
His pressers are hilarious.
No, he was like speaking his whole heart, and then she's like, "All right, let's So nice to be you."
Okay.
And then he's like, "Fuck, all right."
Oh, y'all really don't want to be talking to me, huh?
But she apologized. It was a technical issue.
Right,
I'm for it. It was an actual technical glitch. She couldn't hear him.
Oh, so the Kings right now in 11th in the West, but the Wolves are 15th, so they're last.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, it's Halliburton's next up.
Yeah, because the Kings damn near won twice as many games. And the Rockets are still not in last place.
Not yet. Not yet.
Crackheads in a crack den, man. It's still a bottom. We ain't hit it yet.
They started at the top. Now they're here.
They started.
They started halfway up the table. Now they're here.
The Lakers are 4th now.
Yeah, they're a trash team without AD and LeBron.
Yep.
I think we nobody is the wool is over nobody's eyes that those two guys carried that team.
And the Warriors are 10th, so they're not in the playoffs as of right now.
Trash.
Speaking of Warriors, Draymond Green. Did you hear what he just said like earlier this week? If you didn't, I'll tell you.
I did not.
Draymond Green said that he is the best defender, not only in the NBA now, but ever. What do you think?
Okay, Dodd, I'll open the floor to you.
I'm not gonna get angry at him because I think you gotta kind of have
like
that.
You should think that, of course.
Right. You should definitely carry yourself like that. I mean, it's not right, but you can definitely in your own world you can do it. I mean, I can just name like Dennis Rodman.
Yep. Gary Payton.
Meta World Peace. Ron Artest. I think here's the thing. I think that's an argument that I want to hear is like a Ron Artest via Draymond as far as defensive guys.
I want to add something though, just to like give Draymond some bail. So I think sometimes people, I'm not saying you, I'm saying sometimes people, just because one player can't do anything else but play defense.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're doing it. Trust me, I'm not.
But who are we talking about in that sort of sense? Like, or when you say that, are you talking about Draymond or are you talking about Ron? Are you talking about...
That would be more towards Ron Artest because all he did was play defense.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is that but that aspect of it is you look at Draymond's career to a certain extent sometimes. mean, those point totals weren't all that nothing really. Like there were certain times where he was turning on and he was just a defensive guy. Like, but regardless, whatever.
Yeah.
You're never gonna hear me say that Draymond Green is a better defensive player than Dennis Rodman is. If we're even looking at current NBA players, is anybody saying that he's an all-around better defensive player than Kawhi has been?
The Clippers have been getting torched.
I'm just saying current time, not this particular year.
No.
I think Kawhi's just too busy with his real estate happening right now that he's not worried about anything else.
Congrats on the $17 million house.
But his third plus $5 million home.
Yeah, he's got a $7 million condo across the street from the Staples Center. So good for him. So wait, he's not going to be late anymore.
Gary Payton.
Dude, Draymond's head is firmly lodged in his own asshole.
I mean, but to be great, like to be in the NBA, you kind of have to be that way.
No, and I get it, and I don't blame him for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not 10th in the West if you have the greatest defender of all time on your team. So, okay.
Yeah.
Who everybody thinks is the greatest shooter in the NBA. So
he's the greatest shooter of all time.
I don't know what to tell you.
He's the greatest shooter of all time.
All right, but also on that list as far as defensive players is Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan. Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Garnett could play some fucking defense.
KG.
David Robinson was amazing in defense. Then if we're talking about other guys, MJ.
Yeah.
Mutombo. And then probably my favorite defensive player coming out of the 2000s, and I still put him over anything that Draymond did, is Ben Wallace.
Oh.
Yeah, but
those Pistons teams were filthy. Because they had every piece that you needed to have.
I got a question for you. How much stock do you put into a player being able to guard 1 through 5?
Nowadays is different than what it was even 10 years ago, where you got all these positions and basically meaningless.
Positionless basketball.
That's what it is now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, right now, I don't know. Like, if we're talking about, like, Rodman back in the 90s who could defend every position, and the positions were vastly different, yeah, that's why I'm always going to give it to Rodman. But there's that angle with Draymond. It's where, like, okay, you could shuffle between the positions, but come on, everybody's like these tweeners as far as size and everything goes. That can you really say that? I don't know. I really don't know where that fits. Looking into the greater lexicon of basketball, I think it's less variety, less diversity as far as what is showing in your defensive play.
Well, let me ask you this question: do you think Ben Wallace would be? Who could Ben Wallace guard now?
Everybody.
No.
Well, that's the thing is that with like his Ben was just protect his paint, right? Like it was not. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because I mean that's the thing is that the NBA has changed so fucking much. Like I'm a defender of like people putting more respect on Shaq's name as far as greatest of all time, right? But then I'm also looking at like. While I do think Shaq could play in this league and they could build an offense through him, I also know that from a defensive standpoint, Shaq ain't going to be able to do what he used to do in playing top-level defense because motherfuckers are shooting for 40 feet out. So it's not gonna matter. So I don't know. I really don't know. I just think that. So maybe that's the thing is that we have to break it down kind of like what I was saying with the greatest player debate, right? Is like we got to kind of break it down by era.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at eras and we're saying today's an era, then yeah, Draymond's in the conversation for I mean, I don't think anybody's going to say he's not top 3, top 5 in the last, let's say 6 years. So, I mean, if that's the case, all right, cool, Draymond, like you're on that. And if we're looking at, all right, you're going to take the best defensive players, like the best 1 or 2 defensive players for some eras. All right, maybe you're on a Mount Rushmore somewhere.
Yeah, if you do it by like decades.
All right, so if we're talking about now, let's take now for example. Would you say Draymond's a better defender than, let's say, Ben Simmons?
Oh, I think the only reason that you might get a slight edge to Draymond is just high pressure playoff situations, and he's shown up. And if I needed a regular season, who do I think has a better overall season performance? I might take Ben. But I don't know. It's hard to denigrate Draymond because he's just been in so many big situations and shown up. So I don't know. Today, like if I had to pick one today, I might pick Ben. Just maybe that's because I'm looking at upside. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Draymond's got them rings.
Yep.
And nobody's taking anything away from that. He is an important piece of them getting those rings.
Hell yeah.
Right.
All right.
Rodney.
So,
Iguodala played good defense at times too.
Yeah, he did.
Did you know
So
Iguodala
did Jason Kidd.
still in the league?
Yep.
Blew my mind when I heard his name yesterday.
Jason
Blew
Kidd
my
too.
mind.
When he shut down LeBron the finals for the Mavs. And Sean Marion too. All right. So, Ryan, this right here is gonna be the clip. I know it for sure. Okay. We're about to talk about Dan Snyder.
I hate to plug other podcasts, but did you watch the other podcast?
I didn't finish it. No. I did. I was watching it though.
Okay.
I'm just starring it.
It's not going to be that much fireworks, I promise you.
Oh, it should be.
It should be.
Come on.
You're already starting to rile me up. I'm trying to calm down. Shut the fuck up and get on.
No.
All right, introduce the segment, motherfucker.
All right, so this has been a running topic on this podcast since the shit started.
I'm lighting another cigarette.
Besides all the hate that K-Dot has for the Raiders and Mark Davis in terms of ownership.
Stupid haircuts.
Yep, that too.
And that's a life choice.
An equal amount of hatred, if not more, for the owner of his team, Dan Snyder. He's been wanting him to sell the team even after all the reports came out from the Washington Post about all the crazy shit that was going on within the organization. That was a fun rant to hear.
My leg is shaking.
Oh, your leg is shaking? Good. I like that. All right. So it came out this week that Dan Snyder said he's going to buy the other 40% from the minority owners. And
I'm not fucking leaving.
Ownership of the team. He's not leaving. You had hope that he was going to be gone, but looks like he's going to be here to stay for the rest of the time.
I'm not fucking leaving. Sorry, go ahead, K-Dot. So is yours.
How do you feel?
Seeing that news story pop up on my phone was the equivalent of pretend that I'm 7 years old.
Okay.
Watching TV with my parents and telling them like, oh, Mom, Dad, look, I really want that for Christmas, right? I really, really want that toy for Christmas. And my parents are like, okay, now I grew up in a household in which we didn't believe in Santa Claus ever because we were a struggling family. So it'd be the equivalent of like seeing that commercial, but then my parents say, Dad just got a raise at work. And it's a lot more money than we've ever seen. So it's like this anticipation builds, right? My parents, they're late picking me up from school and they're like, oh, sorry, we had to go pick something up from the store. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And you're like, oh my God, it's going to happen, right? Then the night before, your parents are wrapping gifts and you look under the tree and it's like, oh my God, it's the shape of the toy that I want. Like it's right there. Then Christmas morning, I wake up all wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and run downstairs and first thing I do is rip open the wrapper of this thing. Now I'm opening up the box and oh my God, it's the case. It's right there. I got the toy. And I open it up and it's a Ziploc bag full of uncut baby dicks. And it's like, what the fuck? What just happened? What did you do? What is going on? They have been teasing Washington fans for years. This was finally it. This was it. We got the billionaire in Jeff Bezos who can buy gods if he wanted to, sniffing around the fucking team. You got a sexual harassment investigation that all sounds point directly to Dan. You have an NFL that's looking at this organization being like, no shit, they're doing certain things right, but I mean, everything is negative tied up into the franchise is all tied to this one guy. Maybe this is our easy out. And the NFL not only does Dan not pull this Jedi mind trick and buying it, he gets the NFL to sanction off to let go of the rule they have with how much debt an owner can have to clear the way so that he can make the purchase. Fuck everyone involved in this shit. This is the worst. It is the worst news I've ever had as a Washington football team fan. Ever. No, ever. This is the worst news I've ever had. You know why? How old is Dan Snyder?
You want me to give you
50?
You want me to give you the worst?
Hold on. How old is Dan Snyder?
I don't know.
50?
I'm 30-something years old, which means this cocksucker is going to own this team the rest of my fucking life.
Yep.
There's no out now. If they couldn't get rid of him behind all this shit, that the league actually had to make an exception for him, then I have to live the rest of my days knowing that this asshole is in charge of this organization. Even today, I drive over to Virginia to buy cigarettes because cigarettes in D.C. are $12, $14 a pack, right? And I got to drive past where that asshole lives. And every time I do, you know what? I'm not going to say that on the podcast. Never mind. But fuck me, man. Fuck me. This is bullshit.
You see what I just texted you? That was the worst news.
Sean Taylor was a tragedy. This is just anger.
Fair.
I've never felt bad in this sort of sense. There was nothing you could look. Sean Taylor was senseless and it was dumb. And yeah, I still harbor feelings over what Mike Wilbon said after all that shit happened. But
what did he say?
When Mike Wilbon basically wrote an article saying that if you live a certain gangster lifestyle, you do this, that, and the other, you got to kind of expect certain things to come back. And that was before everything had come out about what had actually happened with Sean, which there's still people in D.C. Mike Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser are legends in D.C. Everybody that I know that respected both of those guys, while they still respect Kornheiser, because Kornheiser never jumped that far, Mike Wilbon always leaves a bad taste in every Washingtonian's mouth. Because, I mean, Mike Wilbon and Kornheiser, they are DC sports. And to see what Wilbon said, we still haven't forgiven him for that.
No, I understand it.
So before Dan Snyder was the owner, Washington had 3 Super Bowls, 5 NFC championship
games. Those are the 22 years before Dan was.
And in the 22 years since, they have 0 Super Bowls, played in 0 NFC championship games, and obviously have won 0.
The only silver lining with any of this shit is that maybe on some. Oh, and I also saw Chase Young's about to be on Celebrity Family Feud with like the NFL Players Association. That's a big move for Chase Young. Just saying, you're now looking at one of the faces of the entire NFL is on my squad. Just putting it out there. The idea. You know, there's certain things I want to say, but then it's like I'm going too far just because I know my anger is like kind of boiling to a tippy top. But all right, to try to make it better, the only thing that I could take as a silver lining is that the organization, from an organizational standpoint, is running probably better than it ever has. There is something that is said that leaves a little pit in your stomach that realizes, like, none of this stuff is real. Like, there's real consequences in the sense of, like, who it is we're hiring, people actually getting jobs, people actually doing this, which is good things, right? But if you're looking at the motives behind it, none of it's good. Like, this is all Dan Snyder's just PR shit.
Yep.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you just kind of, like, hold your nose and take your medicine and, like, hopefully it all works out. But Lord knows there's going to be a little part of me that dies inside if we win a championship and seeing that cocksucker hoist the Lombardi trophy. There's still going to be the same response from every Washington fan. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jason Wright. Thank you, front office and everybody. Fuck you, Dan Snyder.
Well, other Washington football news. Apparently, you guys might keep the name.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
That's one that I'm actually struggling a bit with because the longer we go on with it, the more I think it is kind of lit that we're just a Washington football team. Like there is something kind of hard about it that I'm kind of feeling like as we're going on. Like it's just this back to basics. Then not to mention like even last year when you were looking at the NFC East, where
football.
You trash talk against other teams. To be able to say like you lost to a team with no name is fucking dope. Like we don't even.
Or you can say that you don't have a name. You're so indecisive. You can't create a name.
But I mean, but you motherfuckers like soccer, where it's just XY football club, right? Where they don't have to be all that creative with shit. To think in the NFL, is it cooler to be the Washington football team, or is it cooler to be a Detroit Lion where there are no fucking Lions in Michigan? Like, is it cooler to be the Washington football team Or is it okay with having just some nonsensical bullshit? Are you a Cincinnati Bengal? Rawr. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it doesn't.
At least you got a name. Like, I mean, if you want to just be different, like a contrarian, like,
do I want to be the Washington football team or the Washington Wizards?
Wizards?
There's not a single wizard in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely not. No one wants to be a fucking wizard. You'd rather be the Washington basketball team. Like, you just don't want.
Nah,
like, I'd rather we do this than
cool,
fuck it up.
The Wizards are kind of cool.
No, it's not. No, it's not. There's nothing cool about the Wizards. There's no one. Even the motherfucker that came up with the name, who was some child in the contest that they had, is probably kicking themselves. Like, I could never believe that they were actually going to pick this. I was 6 years old. What the fuck were they doing?
Why did they choose this?
It was dumb. There's just dumb names in sports. Like,
You
there's
guys
just
had a
names
cool
that don't make
logo
sense.
when Gilbert was there.
The Wizard, the W Wizard. You are out of your fucking mind. No one here in the city likes the Wizards. Are you out of your? What the fuck? We all want the Bullets back, but they're carjacking motherfuckers every other day
the
now.
Bullets
So
is better. The Washington Bullets is better.
It's just at least having a team name that's tied to something. And the thing is, the more that we go on with this, like I want Red Wolves, but even I'm looking at Red Wolves and I'm kind of like, it's a little lame. Then even when you're looking at like people want Red Tails, which is cool because you have the story, they're not going to name them Red Tails. Like we had it was a slur, but it was a cool name as far as what we used to have.
It wasn't cool.
It was pretty cool, but it was fucked up, but it was kind of cool.
It wasn't cool.
It was cool. Motherfucker, you lost all credibility when you think the Wizards are cool. So I don't want to hear what you think is cool and not cool.
I don't care. I don't care. You lost the credibility and you thought that name was cool.
What? The
old name.
The R words?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the Washington R words. Boom.
It was pretty dope.
That should be the name, the Washington R word.
No, because R word means something else mostly.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, you're right. Never mind. All right.
Well, we can just offend everybody.
Yeah, my bad.
But Washington football's like, I don't do it. If I had my choice, do I want us to stay that? No. But the longer we go on, the more like everything, you get used to it. And the more you get used to something, the harder it is to change. Because as much as what people always rebel against is change. Same way that no one can think that motherfuckers get used to a pandemic with thousands of people dying every day. We definitely got used to a pandemic with thousands of people dying every day. So much so that Joe Biden just did a press conference for an hour. Reporters did not ask him one question about the pandemic. That's how far we've fallen. Well, I'm just saying, people get used to shit.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, I'm cool with the whiff.
All right. So, let's talk about like the final big news this week so far in the NFL. There was a big trade.
There was.
The San Francisco 49ers acquired the number 3 pick in the 2021 NFL draft from the Miami Dolphins, who then traded the Niners, what was it, 6th pick? I think. Yeah, the 6th pick to the Eagles for the 12th.
Yep. It looks like the Niners are not sold on Jimmy G's knees.
Period. But they said they're going to keep him, which of course they would say.
Yeah. You know what you get usually if you don't have a reliable quarterback in a top 3 pick, you usually pick up a quarterback.
Wait, so the Dolphins sent the 3rd pick to the Niners, who then sent the 12th pick to the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins sent the 12th pick to the Eagles for the 6th pick.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
what does that mean for Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts is staying.
Yep. That means that card value is going up.
And Tua is staying. And they're going to build around those two guys. And it also looks like, look, if Jimmy G stays healthy, that kid can ball. I'm not sure if, he's the future of that franchise or not, but if they pick up a top 3 quarterback, they have a guy that they can put out there for this year and a guy that they can teach whatever quarterback it is they pick up. And then they can get rid of Jimmy G.
I got a question.
Next year.
I got a question. Once the legal situation with the Houston quarterback, Deshaun Watson, clears up, and let's say that it was a fishing expedition, as people have been saying, what if the Niners trade the 3rd pick, Jimmy G, to the Texans for Deshaun Watson and like another two first rounders.
It ain't be cleared up before the draft.
Yeah, the draft is in like 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's April. It's April right now.
Yeah, it won't be cleared up before that. I think Kyle Shanahan, you never quite know what he's going to do. I mean, he's one of those guys that, like, from a quarterback standpoint, he's seen a little bit of everybody and got production out of him.
Well, you remember, what was it? I forgot. Mort. It might have been Mort. Talking about how the fact that there are certain teams, or I think it might have been Ian Rappaport on Pat McAfee's show, talking about how certain teams like trust Deshaun Watson enough that they're still willing to make a move if the Texans like decide to trade him, like now.
Yeah.
So it might not have to be cleared up before the draft.
That's true. I mean, at the end of the day, if there's no criminal charges happening, then it's the PR hit.
The Niners already took a PR hit with Bosa.
True that, but I mean, if you're talking about any organization that, for the most part, I mean, they can kind of roll with the punches. And Kyle Shanahan has enough stock in the sense of people think that he's vocal. He doesn't hide his opinions and shit on things that, like, maybe it could work out and they could at least cover Deshaun just a bit that could deflect a lot of the shit that would come his way. Because, I mean, I thought the 49ers did a pretty good job as far as the Bosa situation itself, too, in the sense of just the way you handle as an organization and kind of move forward with it. I don't know. I really like Kyle Shanahan as a coach. I mean, he got the best production out of RG3, best production out of Kirk Cousins. Jimmy G has shown flat. I mean, he played in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, that says something. I don't know. I don't know what Kyle does. I mean, I think that Kyle probably has certain guys in his head that he really likes, and I think he's just going to make moves to go towards that. Yeah. And I trust their front office, and I think John Lynch does a really good job. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just giving himself the ability to build a winning team around somebody who isn't Jimmy G if he has to.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a smart front office and a smart head coach does. They think about today and tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Like Kadeen's getting mad all over again. I can see it.
Well, it brought up the whole Dan thing, but I guess I was also thinking about Philadelphia, yes, to a certain degree just now. I was getting a little defensive already.
About what?
I don't know if we were going to talk about whether or not Philadelphia is tanking last year.
Oh, no, I thought about it, but then I knew you were going to get mad again.
Well, allow me to get mad on something that you didn't even attack me for. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about the Philadelphia thing and how, oh my God, they're kind of genius for what it is they did because they leverage X pick to do. Here's my entire thing with tanking. It is something that you had to listen to what my argument was when I made the argument. It's not over until it's over, which means you have to see how the draft picks actually work out too. Mm-hmm. If you trade a draft pick and that person ends up being a stud that you could have had, it didn't work out in your favor. If you pick up and your draft picks work out to be amazing draft picks, all right, it worked out in your favor. It's the same thing that when people overall talk about like the RG3 trade with St. Louis, right? And oh my God, Washington gave up so much for RG3. Who do you think won that trade, honestly? Does anybody remember all the first and the second? But if you look at the players that St. Louis had, Michael Brockers is who they used to pick up the guy. Come on. Janoris Jenkins probably the best one out of that draft as far as guys they had because he stuck around for a while. Isaiah Pede.
Brockers
has been a rotational lineman, but never the reason that defense has been great. Never.
All right.
Isaiah Pede stepped in at certain points as far as right now. I don't even know this motherfucker. Rakevius Watkins.
Oh, these are first round picks.
These are all picks that got from the RG3 trade.
But was that the last person in the first round?
No, he wasn't the first round.
Okay.
Alec Ogletree, who's been a fairly decent linebacker.
He was a pretty good one.
Fairly decent linebacker. Stedman Bailey.
He had
Zach Stacy. Greg
Why
Robinson.
You do that?
Because come on now. I mean, if you're looking at that overall.
Didn't he get shot in the head?
Oh, yeah, didn't he? He might have.
Yeah, that's why his career kind of derailed immediately.
The aspect of but RG3. If you're looking at the trade overall, right? I still take RG3 over that group of guys if you just have a coaching staff that doesn't force to go out there against Oladipo to get his fucking breaks back.
What I mean, like if you look at the production of each party at this moment in time, the Rams production is better than what y'all got.
Got it. And here, I'll even listen to that argument. What I'm saying is that right now, I think a lot of people are so quick to try to make a ruling and a judgment on something overall.
That's true.
You have to let the process itself play itself out to really.
Just because you have a top 5 pick does not mean you have a top 5 player.
Yep.
Exactly. Which is what I go back to even last week when me and James got into it.
I don't
care. Your first round. I know you don't. Your first round quarterbacks. There are still more busts than there are people who work out pro style offenses or not.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, unless you got a team that's going to allow that person to hit, because that also is the argument that I could have calmly said to you last week, is that my thing is that you have play. I don't give a shit how talented you are. Mm-hmm. Unless you have your feet that can extend a play at the quarterback position, unless you come in there and that team's good enough on offense, so they have certain pieces, you're going to get your heads bashed in. And there's not a lot that you can do to have a good career if that's the case. I think a lot of times, a lot of these NFL-ready quarterbacks are set up to fail because of the places they get drafted, and are set up to fail because these teams don't have enough patience with those players.
Yeah, you remember they said that rookie QBs come in and they use their athleticism. Like they use their legs to run around until they can read the defense.
That's what I've been saying, right? And that was my whole theory on benching a first-round quarterback as long as you can, if you can, because there are some teams, I get it. Coaching staffs, it's what have you done for me lately? Unless you got an organization ran well from the top that says, like what Washington's doing with Ron Rivera saying, you got 5 years to do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. Just make sure we're moving in the right direction. It allows you the opportunity to do something.
Nobody's really doing that.
There are certain – John Gruden's getting into fucking in Vegas. They tied that financially to him.
No, but here's the difference, though. John Gruden's not, unproven. You know what you're going to get from him. He's been around.
Well, Ron Rivera's not unproven.
I know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is well-run organizations, I'm just saying, overall, you need stability in order to build something. If what you're doing is throwing in a pocket passer with an offensive line that's not good because that's the reason you had a high draft pick,
then it
doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm all about bridge quarterbacks and everything to try to get that, because your quarterback can't learn if the only thing they're doing is fearing the defense hitting them. They can't.
Agree to disagree. Slightly.
Slightly?
Yeah, slightly. All right, so the final topic that I have for this week is something that's happening tomorrow. Ryan, you and I will watch it. K-Dot, I think we're trying to get you into it. Formula One's coming back tomorrow.
I like Formula One, I just don't follow it.
Fair enough.
Actually, they raced today.
No, it's today over there. Bahrain? I think
they raced for pole position today.
Oh yeah, but practice has been happening all week and shit. But I'm saying the actual race is tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's
qualifying was yesterday and today, and I think the day before. I don't know, but the actual race is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we should know who's starting pole position.
Yeah, it's not who you would expect it to be.
It's not Lewis?
Nope.
Shit. Oh, no. Verstappen. That's fine.
Yeah, it's Verstappen.
Speed race.
Yeah. I mean, Verstappen's been on Mercedes' tail the whole time anyway. So if it wasn't Lewis, I would expect it to be him.
Well, he beat him by 0.388 seconds.
Yeah.
Is a lot.
Let's see. Ferrari's finally coming back. Okay. Pierre Gasly. That's a surprise. He's in fifth.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Bottas, you expect. I will say I did not expect Bottas to be so close to Lewis.
Yep, and the clerk's in there too somewhere.
Yep, he's fourth. Let's see.
What time is it?
Carlos Sainz. God damn, he's
Isn't
in
it
8th.
7?
It's tomorrow. It starts tomorrow at 11.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
Why did I think it was earlier than that? Excellent.
Fernando Alonso. He's in 9th.
I will say overall, Formula One has the best opportunity to get a fan like me over because as a guy who's a NASCAR fan over Formula One, over the years, NASCAR has gotten away from what I thought really made it special. Kind of like with rally racing did, which is that the cars, there were actual differences in the cars. You could root for certain manufacturers in a certain way. But now with NASCAR basically having every car is identical except for whatever logo they have on it, it's kind of the exact same thing with Formula One. Is regardless of whatever it is you look at, Mercedes, Ferrari, unless it's for the color schemes, you can't really tell the fucking difference between any
Yeah, but I mean, like the liveries, like the livery reveal is like a big thing every year.
Yeah, I don't care as much. I mean, in NASCAR, it's the same thing in NASCAR. It was like for certain special edition cars, certain cars were better than others. Like I will forever be the best paint scheme ever is Richard Petty's powder blue, followed by Dale Earnhardt's fucking black Intimidator car. Like there are certain things, but overall, I mean, it's kind of like me being excited over fucking colorway getting released for a pair of Yeezys, which is not something that fucking makes me excited. So I don't care.
You end up, it's not the team anymore. You just root for the drivers.
And that's the thing. You can
the
root
drivers
for
switch seats.
And that's the thing is like even in NASCAR, you root for certain drivers and stuff, but I don't know, man. It's hard enough for me to really even want to maintain a certain like with a lot of sports, just because I think seasons are too goddamn long, and I ain't fucking watching everything anymore. I got too much shit to do. So like, and with racing, I don't know what the season's like in Formula One. In NASCAR, they race every week other than the goddamn 3 weeks in the winter before the new season fucking starts.
They take breaks. Like they race every other 2 weeks or every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can't put that. Ain't a kid no more where I could like sit down and watch everything.
I mean, you watch football.
I watch the Washington game. That's right. But
it's only one thing.
Yeah, but guess what? There's only 16 games. And usually of those 16 games, 4 games are automatic. We're going to get blown the fuck out.
So you only have to watch the first quarter.
I don't even want to watch.
It's all right. Like I typically try to watch all the pain.
But that's the thing is like at the end of the day, even basketball, I'm not watching.
Yeah, I put it on. Games, man. I put it on and then I do other things.
Baseball. I watch Ryan, how the fuck can anybody watch 162 of anything?
That's right. Ryan does it.
It's good background noise.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Look. That's the face of a guy who does it.
Give me 162 episodes of The Mandalorian. I'm going to struggle, okay? I'm just saying. It's a commitment.
But somebody can also
I watch anime.
Somebody can also ruin the ending for you.
I watch One Piece, which is like
I didn't realize also just how much of a box I'm in that I've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z. The more I'm going through life, the more I'm realizing just how
Wait, what?
We've talked about this. Even on the Twitter thread, we talked about it. I've never seen a single episode of Dragon Ball Z. I don't get it. It's just not my thing.
I also have not seen a single episode.
There we go. Me and you, like, sole people in a fucking box. Like, the only 2 people on the planet between the ages of 25 and 40 that have never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Nuts.
I've seen The Wire like 15 times, though.
Same here.
I mean, what did y'all watch as kids? Like, what cartoons did you watch as kids?
I had HBO in my bedroom. I watched Sex and the City and Oz.
Okay, so that's the difference. All right.
I didn't really watch cartoons as a kid.
Okay.
I was talking to my girlfriend about this. I told her that she dressed up the other day. It was cold. And I told her she looks like a character off the show Recess. Mm-hmm. I guess the chick with the hat. And she was like, oh my God, I used to love that show. I was like, I only remember it because people put it in like memes and stuff now. Mm-hmm. I never watched it because I didn't get up and watch Saturday morning cartoons. It just wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I was up and out of the fucking house.
Same here.
This stuff.
Probably doing things that now if I did them were considered felonies, but oh well.
Wow.
I think I was playing video games. I got into video games early.
I was big into my Nintendo too.
All right.
So y'all were watching Dragon Ball Z. I was killing prostitutes on Grand Theft Auto.
I was playing Battletoads.
Well, I was playing Final Fantasy too.
Ooh, Final Fantasy.
I've never played a single Final Fantasy game.
Wow. Very good.
And I've only owned PlayStations. Or I've owned every PlayStation.
You should play Final Fantasy. That's a good game.
Yeah.
I've heard. Another one I've never played? I've only played once on a Game Boy. I've only played one game of Zelda ever.
Oh, all right. I thought you were about to say you never played Pokemon. I'm like, come on, man.
I've never played Pokemon ever.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I used to get counterfeit Pokemon cards from the corner store around the way from my house and then sell it to unsuspecting white kids in Georgetown. That was my history of Pokemon in growing up. I used to buy Pokemon cards for $0.25 because they had a stack at the corner store. So my mom was across the street playing the lottery. I go get a Slim Jim, a bag of hot fries, and like 10 fake Pokemon cards to go to school and just... Hey, who wants a holographic Charizard? Don't hold it up to the light because the motherfuckers used a photocopier to do it. But
this one's special.
Right.
It's not like the others.
Right. Did you email dude?
Yeah. He said he'd get back to me.
All right, cool.
All right, sorry for going on tangent again.
No, that's fun.
Let's wrap this up.
I mean, that was my final thought. I think you should watch Dragon Ball Z. Like,
I won't.
I know you won't, but I would feel bad if I didn't tell you.
The anime that I started a couple months ago, was Legend of Korra, which was apparently like an offshoot of Avatar, which I've never seen. But I liked Korra from what I was watching.
I'd say you should watch Hunter x Hunter.
The only anime that I know that I'm going to watch is what's the one where like the giant people?
I know.
Legends of Titan, Adventures of Titan or something?
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. That's the one that I think I'm actually going to watch. I did watch a few episodes of One Punch Man that I thought was great.
Yeah. All right. So you're not that.
I'm not like complete. There's certain things look, we were going through a list of shit that I haven't seen. I've never watched the Oceans movies, the new Oceans 11 movies all the way through. I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies. I haven't finished Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I only watched the first one. There's certain things I'm just kind of out of the loop on. Like it's like I know I'm gonna love Lord of the Rings. I just don't have the 84 hours it takes to watch all the movies.
I will say this though, the first Pirates of the Caribbean is the only movie that I watched like all the way through and then immediately watched it again.
I watched Pirates of the Caribbean for the first time at Union Station's movie theater, and a rat ran across my foot. Wasn't a great experience.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that was your final thought. My final thought, on a more serious note, last week we touched on the NCAA women's discrepancies between what was happening with them. And we missed out on probably the biggest thing as far as discrepancy between the two, which was that the NCAA were using inferior tests for COVID on the women compared to the men's, which is something that, look, we could talk about the weight rooms. We could talk about we could talk about the weight rooms. We could talk about the food. But the fact that they're actually messing around with life and death in the sense of
shit.
It's bad. And I still go back to the people at hand that really need to be held responsible. NCAA are nothing but puppets and figureheads for the old boys club that runs the universities around this country. And I think people need to start looking at that. The old money that's in the universities. There's the same reason almost every one of these Ivy League schools is still charging full tuition when their students couldn't even come and show up to the fucking universities. And nobody do shit except cut them goddamn checks. They don't give a fuck. They continue to work around this philosophy in America that you need that college education to do X, Y, and Z. It's all about the bread. They try to do it to the regular population the same way they try to do it to the student athlete. Nobody's going to take you seriously unless you come and you play for these universities and you do what you need to do in March Madness so you can get drafted, blah, 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 blah. It's all old systems that they try to keep you beholden to.
It's all about the Benjamins.
Always.
And they're pieces of shit for that.
You know what the NCAA says to you? I'm not fucking leaving.
Fuck you. One last thing on the university part. I'm in DC right now, but when I'm in Baltimore, I live basically on the campus of Morgan State University, which is HBCU.
Okay.
I will admit, growing up, I didn't know shit about Morgan State. I've been told that I had family members that went there. I didn't fucking know. I didn't really know about Morgan State until my sister went to Morgan State. And when my sister went to Morgan, she met her boyfriend, who's now her husband, my brother-in-law. I didn't know that it had any sort of stock anywhere. Until fairly recently, as I've been like doing these jobs for some of the bars and stuff, people ask where you live, and I say I'm in Baltimore, and where you live, well, I'm on the east side. Oh, anywhere close to Morgan State? Morgan State's become almost a household name, which to me is something that's strange because I just didn't know. But it's really, really cool to see at HBCU, like Morgan, become this sort of institutionalized thing, at least in this area, of people knowing. And I'm hoping I know Jeff Bezos, his wife, gave how many millions of dollars to the university, and the campus right now is just one big construction zone. Like even the property value from my parents' house I think is going up 40%, which is insane because they're building an entire facility behind the house. Chipotle, Quick Way, Barnes and Noble is coming and everything right there to the area.
Barnes and Noble still exists? That blows.
I think it's going to be because it's going to be the college campus bookstore is going to be ran through Barnes and Noble. I will say this. We need to do a better job of always talking about the HBCUs. If we're going to look at anything as far as trying to change the landscape of the way the universities and the colleges work, I think the only way of redemption for them, especially for people like me, is through the HBCU. We need to do what we can to actually give kickbacks to our own community with this and to keep the money within a certain frame to actually help out instead of doing what it is that the universities do as a whole, which is take their money, divide it up against the top echelon people, the old boys club, and to keep business moving on, which is what I consider modern day slavery in the NCAA.
Is that the 52nd state, Morgan?
I hate you.
I hate me too. It's cool. Final thoughts. We're 6 days away from opening day. 5 days away from opening day. Ooh, 5 days away from opening day. The baseballs. I'm trying to get tickets because I really want a hot dog. I just want to sit and eat a hot dog. I want to do it because they said last year that we couldn't because we shouldn't have. But I'm so ready to go to a sports game. We should go to a Morgan State basketball game next year.
That would be cool. I will admit something after you just said that. If you put a gun to my head and said, was baseball playing right now? I would have said yes. I didn't know. I just assume baseball's always happening.
Yeah, no. This is like the 6 hour period between last season and next season. So.
That's what I was like, huh? I was like, opening day. They ain't already playing.
I didn't know it was so close.
Yeah. It's
I
usually
thought it was like another month.
First week of April.
I actually packed my Max Scherzer jersey for some reason, coming to my girlfriend's house. Like, for some reason, I plan on wearing it in the next couple of days.
Yeah, good. Well, it's going to be Scherzer DeGrom on Thursday.
Also, if you like vodka and orange, this is pretty good. I don't know why I bought this because I fucking hate orange juice and I also hate vodka, but it's like...
But it works.
It's working.
If I take two things I dislike and put them together, it makes
like
two.
It.
You know what it is? It's the can. Orange is my favorite color. I love the font. I love everything about this can. I think it's an amazingly dezsigned can.
And there's a crab on it.
I didn't even think about that. That helped it. I mean, I'm allergic to shellfish. So 3 things that I'm not about all in one.
Oh my god.
Oh, so I shouldn't invite you to the Crab Shack.
No, I don't even like being around shellfish. It makes me feel kind
of.
It
also kills Mauricio, so that's good to know.
Oh shit.
All right.
So last thing I want to say, I realized I made the dumbest bet ever because I can't win this shit ever. What's his name? Khabib. If he never fights again, like how long does that be? But like if he comes back in like 4 years, you can be like, oh yeah, where's my 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So stupid bet. But whatever.
Can't wait to take your $100.
No,
I just sit and wait. Because Khabib will outlive me. So have fun trying to get my $100
I know.
to my corpse.
I know. But yeah.
He files $100 lien on your estate when you die. This bitch said he'd pay me.
I have it on video. All right. But yeah, the Death Star goes boom. But I mean, y'all team has been fucked up this week anyway.
Go ahead, K-Dot. I didn't hear what he said, but
yeah.
I'm not
Did you like my edit last week? Y'all didn't even get that far in the episode, did you?
No.
Nope. Exactly. Motherfuckers can't even listen to our own goddamn podcast.
Well, it's because we did it.
Look, no, you kicked me out of the meeting.
I did.
I don't think you meant to, but you did.
Oh no, he totally meant to. You were just.
Oh, you did. But yeah, I thought it would have been funny if you had your girl do it. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, Greg, can you mute the cocksucker for a second? The Death Star, it do go boom.
I'm still talking.